Emma loved going to visit her grandmother, who lived in a little cottage by the sea. There was an old lighthouse on the cliff, its beam of light sweeping across the waves each night. Emma's grandmother said that long ago, it had guided ships safely to shore. But now the lighthouse stood empty and dark. One stormy afternoon, with the wind howling and rain lashing against the windows, Grandma settled by the fire. "Did I ever tell you about the secret of the old lighthouse?" she asked, a twinkle in her eye. Emma leaned in, eager to hear. Grandma told her a story about a brave lighthouse keeper named Old Tom, who had hidden a treasure map somewhere in the lighthouse. He'd planned to use the treasure to rebuild the town after a terrible storm, but had vanished before he could tell anyone where he'd hidden it. Intrigued, Emma decided to investigate. The next morning the storm had passed, leaving the air crisp and clear. She bundled up and headed to the lighthouse. The door creaked open reluctantly, revealing a dusty room filled with cobwebs. In the corner, a spiral staircase twisted upwards, disappearing into the shadows. With a pounding heart, Emma began to climb. The stairs were old and creaky, and the only light came from narrow, dusty windows. She reached a landing, with a single door set into the wall. Her hands shaking, she turned the rusty handle. The door opened into a small room at the very top of the lighthouse. It was filled with strange contraptions, old maps, and thick leather-bound books. And there on the wall was a framed piece of yellowed paper, with a map drawn in faded ink. Emma's eyes scanned the map. It showed the coastline, the cliffs, and a dotted line leading out to a tiny island just off the shore. In the center of the island was a red X. Suddenly, she heard footsteps on the stairs. Quickly, she tucked the map into her pocket, and slipped back down the way she'd come. Just as she reached the bottom, a man with a weathered face and a bushy beard appeared at the top of the stairs. "Looking for something, missy?" he asked gruffly. Emma stammered, then decided to be brave. "I'm looking for adventure," she said, "and maybe a hidden treasure." The man chuckled. "Well, you've come to the right place. Old Tom was my grandfather. I never did find his treasure, but I'm always up for a bit of exploring." Together, they studied the map, curiosity replacing Emma's worry. That summer, instead of just visiting her grandmother, Emma was joining a treasure hunt. The secret of the lighthouse would be theirs to uncover.